Hey True Believers, Zinglentine here. Welcome to another installment of Marvel vs. DC. This is where I read and review. Little review because there are so many books. The ones you see passing by here are the books that are going to be reviewed in this video. And there's quite a few of them, so I just do a little touch. Just a little information so you can have something to go on and get the idea of what it's all about. And after reviewing them, I rate them. And then tally up those ratings to see which company, is it Marvel or DC, that put out the best books in the week of 3/7/2018. Oh, and just as an added bonus, and this is just fun for me, I put them from the worst comic book all the way up to the best comic book of the week as well. Because I think, why not? Why not go that extra mile? That's what we do here. We go the extra mile. So much so that at this point I'm just stalling just to get all of these covers through and you can see what's going on. And after that, we're going to get this party started. So, elevator music. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. And here we go. The 1-star books are the truly horrible and should be avoided at all cost. Iceman number 11 is the last issue of Iceman. Now, here's the thing. Even if this wasn't the last issue, I wouldn't recommend it. And I would actually say this is worse and has been worse than America Chavez. Me, personally, I believe that this book carries a pretentiousness with it that actually makes it worse than reading America. And this one, they go to save a guy who doesn't want to be a mutant, who obviously has mutant powers. Now, this book, as well as others, has a pretentiousness to it. It's like Sina Grace approached this as if he was writing something special instead of the crap that it actually is. And as for a last issue, there's no wrapping things up. There's no inherent message to the book. It's just one more thing. X-Men Red number 2. This is another one I did a full review of, so by all means go on over, check it out if you want a little bit more information and how I really felt about it. I go a little bit more deep into it. The gist of it is, I'm done. The first one was good. I enjoyed it. It at least I said it returned to the X-Men. This one just went off the fucking rails with this scene right here, where they get a thief into the midst that just would have caused economic and sociological chaos in India. It is a crap book, start to finish. The 2-star books are just merely bad and definitely not worth your time. Ant-Man in the Wasp. Okay, I said that wrong. It's not Ant-Man in the Wasp. It's Ant-Man and the Wasp Prelude. Okay, that would have been a completely different movie. That's probably going to be the porn sequel. I apologize for that. Let's just get down to brass tacks. All these Prelude books are just the Cliff Notes. It's an adaptation of the movie, of the first Ant-Man movie, and it does read like a Cliff Notes version. There's absolutely nothing special to this. Don't spend $5 on this. Rent the movie or buy the movie. You're going to be a lot more satisfied than if you read this POS. Shade the Changing Woman, number 1. So they're going at it again. Didn't learn from their lesson the last time at all, actually. I'm kind of being facetious about the fact that I didn't enjoy the first series. This seems to be just more of the same. It's weird for weirdness sake. It's dialogue that's like, I am a dream that I dreamed, this one dream that once upon a time I was sleeping through. And it's supposed to sound deep, but it really is just pretentious, and I don't know. There is a bit with a college student that was okay. It was all right because it was an actual narrative. Otherwise, it really is a book that tries to sound smart by being disengaging. I mean, seriously, it really does seem like each panel is its own cartoon that you might find in a Sunday morning newspaper. Guys, it doesn't work. Hawkeye number 16. Well, let's face it, nobody's going to pick up this book if they haven't already picked it up. This is the last issue. This is the very last issue of Hawkeye. So me saying, hey, wow, this is a great book, oh, you should go read this. Oh, wow, you should pick it up. No, I'm not going to say that. The art is really messed up. It's not good art. And the story is very basic, and it's the end. It's the end of the book. It's the end of the series. There's no reason to pick this book up at all. She-Hulk number 163. Man, I used to be such a She-Hulk fan. This cover, by the way, is awesome. I love this cover, and that's one thing that this series was strong about. The covers were really good. Gotta give it to them about that. On the inside, however, I am glad to see that green, female-looking She-Hulk is back. Hopefully that'll translate into the Avengers, although the cover for that didn't look all right. That being said, this book is boring as shit. I picked this page right here because it best represents what happens. Holy crap, it's talky and it's dull. Oh, and by the way, protesting is not against the law. Hurling a car at somebody is. It's attempted murder. Bane Conquest number 10. Alrighty, so it's number 10 out of 12, so there's no way, shape, or form I'm going to recommend you start at this issue. If you are into Bane and are a collector, by all means, get the trade paperbacks or whatever. This is not obviously a jumping on point. That being said, it's okay. It's a good book, but it's not thrilling. This entire series has been an exercise in the adequate. This is having to do with Bane wanting to kidnap a baby, all the while there's an hit out on a Korean general. It just... There's no reason for this book to exist. They don't even need to renew the Bane copyright. It's just boring. Exit Stage Left, starring Snagglepuss. Or is it what? It's Snagglepuss Chronicles? Anyway, number 3. So, let's go with premise first. I really do enjoy the fact that Mark Russell decided to go this route, this historical route with Snagglepuss. Basically, he's Truman Capote. It's very entertaining without actually being interesting. Yeah, I've got to say, while the writing is good, the story is boring. I just don't care. Pretentious people do not excite me. So while I'm very happy to see the world that surrounds Snagglepuss, what he's saying and doing just holds absolutely no interest. Doctor Strange Damnation! Number 2 is better than number 1! Alright, it was good to see that this book has improved. And basically, this is a team-building book where everybody's going from one person to one person saying, hey, we got some problems in Las Vegas, we need your help, come on down! And all the characters here. Why are they traveling? They're traveling, and Iron Fist is doing a backflip to travel. That's a target, dude. Well, anyway, like I said, this book is an improvement over number 1, and it went from horrible to just merely bad. Green Lantern number 42, Superhuman Trafficking. Okay, so this is basically a story about religion, about faith, and about how it can help people and hurt people. And I think the writer really believes that religion doesn't have a place in modern society, by the way it's written. It does seem to, at one point, he even says, oh, you're mindless slaves, talking about people who have been converted to the ways of the guy who's trying to convert everybody. Well, anyway, it's kind of dull, in all honesty. Love the cover. This is one of the best covers of the week, hands down, but overall the story itself, yeah, it didn't work for me. Infinity Countdown number 1. Now, I don't give a crap if it was Marvel's plan to have this tie into Guardians of the Galaxy. I did a full review on this. By all means, go on, check it over there as well to get a little more information. But the reason why I don't give a crap, no matter if this was Marvel's plan or not, was because it doesn't matter. This is not a first issue. You buy this issue thinking this is going to be the first issue of Infinity Countdown instead of the last issue of whatever adventure the Guardians of the Galaxy has been going through in their own book. And that's how it plays. Oh, by the way, and yes, this is this controversial scene where Nova Corps puts a pregnant woman out in front and she uses her fetus as a shield. Yeah, the villains are more caring about what's inside of her than she is. this is a fail. The 3-star books are average. They're either books I liked but don't want to recommend, or something that just didn't register with me. Venom 163. You get a symbiote. He gets a symbiote. We all get it. That's one thing I really don't like about Venom. That it's ruined it for me. So when I see, hey, it's a Venom story, I actually was like, oh, God. And it's the X-Men have symbiotes all over them. Come on, guys. What it's doing is it hurts the brand. But anyway, getting past my own bias, it wasn't a bad tale. It's mostly action. It's mostly dealing with the end of this particular battle, setting up for Venomized, which I can only imagine means more people get symbiotes. Justice League number 40 is okay. I mean, yeah, it's Justice Lost. It's continuing the story. Cyborg's the leader now? Why? That just seems like a bad idea from the beginning. I mean, there's a reason why Captain Kirk's the captain, not Spock. Spock is more intelligent, sure, but when you have instinct, but Cyborg? No. Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, of course, they're the obvious, but it's just Cyborg? No. Anyway, like I said, they try to decide who's going to live and who's going to die as the tower crashes towards Earth. And, of course, then they try to make it so nobody dies. That's the story. I kid you not. That is it. Oh, and in the beginning, there's this whole Ferguson kind of thing where it's like, you help the rich, but now you're not helping the poor. Overall, yeah, like I said, it's a very average book. Rogue and Gambit, Part 3. So they start to suspect something's weird about the island that they're on, as they're also very happy. And to tell you the truth, the relationship stuff is more interesting than what ends up happening where they have to fight a whole bunch of versions of themselves. It's just better dialogue. It's a better story. Then, okay, obligatory action scene. And that's what it really feels on it. It feels like it's a tacked-on action scene because comic books need action. And it kind of gets in the way of the story. So the X-Men A-Team is in prison, and it's a prison story. Outside, Rogue's trying to recruit. Now, isn't Rogue part of No Surrender? So she even says, hey, I'm a leader of Unity, but here she is. Anywho, it's okay. It is. We get the usual tough guy in prison story. We get the usual, well, we got to beat these people up in prison story. Basically, it's the usual stuff. Nothing really stands out. It's not bad. It just is. It's an average book. The art's okay. It works. It's serviceable. Captain America, $6.99, Out of Time Part 2. You know what? I'm not sure what they're doing with this. It's not creating... Does anybody feel any tension? It's set in the future. So we know he's going to go back to the past. We know everything's going to be fixed up. It's not like it's now and something may happen later. And that's the biggest problem. There's just no tension to the story because we know everything's going to get fixed. So what it ends up being is just a chance for Wade to win about the politics. Although it was good to see the Thing be a tough guy again. Avengers Back to Basics #1. All right, this is another one I did a full review on, so go check that out if you want more information. This is just my general opinion of it, and here it is. This is a fun book. There is a lot to love in this book. That being said, it is bad. It's not a good one. It's a guilty pleasure of an Avengers book. The art is just horrible. And the writing is incredibly simple. It really is back to basics, as in only the people who have learned the basics of comic book creation seem to have created this particular comic book. Bombshells United is always a little bit of a hit or miss. See, the art is not that great, but the writing's fun. This is usually an entertaining story, so even though the art it's the weaker part of the book, trust me on that, it's still at least, like I said, entertaining. In this one, you have the Bombshells going up against this universe's version of the Suicide Squad, and that part's entertaining, but then they have a little song with Croc, and I'm not a big fan of the musical numbers that Bombshells throws in because there's no music to it. Black Bolt number 11. I have sung the praises of this book from beginning right up until now. And by that I mean, yeah, this is a good book at about the halfway mark. Before that, it really does seem like it's a weird for weirdness sake book, like it's trying to be deep but ends up just being annoying. One of those situations. However, it does pick up and it becomes entertaining as it goes. Yet not everyone could be a winner, I guess. And this one, it's bad, is still pretty good. Black Bolt is still a book I can recommend, even though this is one issue where I'm going to say I liked it, but I don't know if I'll recommend it. Batman Sins of the Father, Chapter 3, not a good chapter. Mainly because a lot of the dialogue at the beginning is catching you up. And I know it's always good to give information on what happened, but they could have summed up, hey, there was an assassination attempt, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. We're going to be investigating it. Go. It could have been done in a couple of panels rather than a couple of pages, or a few pages, as it were. The second half of the book is entertaining. It's where we deal with Batman trying to find the assassin himself. So I guess it balances out to be average. DC Superhero Girls, Spaced Out, Chapter 8. It's still a fun book. It's still a fun, the way it's drawn, it's like the cartoon. It's entertaining. It's simple to read. If you have kids, especially little girls, let them read it. I find it entertaining. One thing this book does, especially in this issue, that isn't really done in the regular Rebirth series, is explore Kara's time on Krypton. Remember, she did not come as a baby. She had time on Krypton. And in this issue, they do explore that. I found that very interesting. And like I said, just flat out fun. Amazing Spider-Man 787, for the most part, has Norman Osborn talking to somebody in the dark, just threatening. You know, oh, I know Spider-Man. Spider-Man's been bugging me all my life, that kind of stuff. There is a little bit with Mary Jane and Peter Parker and some in the Daily Bugle. Overall, it's a pretty good story. I'm not a huge fan of Norman Osborn Carnage, because these days you mention Venom or Carnage, and I just turn off immediately. That being said, overall, it wasn't bad. It's just, I'm bored with the whole Carnage and Venom thing. Harley and Ivy meet Betty and Veronica, and this is the end. So while I cannot recommend this as a jump-on point, I can't recommend the story as a whole. This is a wrap-up issue. This is, hey, we're going to beat the bad guys, and they do, and it's, it really is just that. Like, oh my gosh, I got to get away, and then something happens, you know, because it's an Archie book. They try to play it up funny, and some of it is. It's entertaining. It's a fun book. That is hands down the truth. I can recommend, but I do so cautiously, because if you're not into humor books, this may fall flat to you. Batman number 42 continues the story of Where the Hell is Swamp Thing? Now, granted, it's not a bad book. It's just the premise is dumb, because where's the Swamp Thing? Now, he may show up in issue 43, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I guess that's it. But you would think that he would jump that shit right as it began. I'm sorry, I just can't get past the premise. Otherwise, it's a fun book. If you could get rid of the knowledge that Swamp Thing exists in the DC universe, you can enjoy this. But if you do know Swamp Thing is there, you're going to be asking yourself, where is Swamp Thing? The 4-star books are good. They're the ones I'm happy to recommend. The Wildstorm number 12. So, little confession here. This one was one of Jack's, and I have been playing catch up. This is not an easy book to get into. It's best to start at the beginning. So if you're interested in Wildstorm, start at the trade paperback first, or pick up the floppies, whichever. That being said, this is such an intriguing story. It really pulls you in. Warren Ellis, top notch on this one. He really does create a world. Even in this one issue, he's going to drag you in. You might be lost for a while, but it is good. And here's hoping I say these names right. Star Wars 44. They're on Mon Cala. That's General Akbar's planet, and they're trying to get people to help join the rebellion. And this is a fun book, I've got to say. This is what I like about Star Wars. You have Princess Leia trying to be diplomatic, all the while Han Solo is trying to get them away from a whole bunch of stormtroopers. So you have the juxtaposition of the comedic action during the serious debate. It melds perfectly. This is a good Star Wars book. Lockjaw number 1. This is a fun and entertaining book. There's a couple of scenes that may upset the more sensitive of people, but otherwise it's entertaining, it's fun. The art is kind of cartoonish without being cartoony, I guess. And yeah, if you're just looking for a decent time, call 1-800-LOCKJAW. Seriously, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Rise of the Black Panther number 3 sees T'Challa opening up Wakanda to the rest of the world, or at least revealing, not really opening. Nobody would actually open up their borders to the rest of the world. That would be crazy to want that. Anyway, what it does do, however, is give us enough action and an introduction to the Winter Soldier in the past, and I appreciate that part, as well as political intrigue. This creates a decent story, as well as a fun one. I like this issue. I'm a little surprised. Deathstroke number 29. Gotta say, Priest has really been amping things up on this book. It's been exciting. It's been good. The art is actually pretty cool as well. I mean, everybody talks about Christopher Priest, especially with his connection to Black Panther and it being it's so hot right now. But this book, having him go nuts and fighting Terra at the same time everybody else is trying to bring him down it's pretty cool. This book is on point. I am very happy to be able to recommend Deathstroke again, because in the beginning I didn't feel I could. Green Arrow number 38 really seems to wrap up the series. So if it really did just end right here, this would be a great end to the series, because it seems like it ended everything that's come since issue number 1 of Green Arrow Rebirth. So it's a good story. Now, granted, some people will have a hard time with politics. Green Arrow is a very liberal character. He's a social justice warrior, and in this book, he actually says that he claims the term with pride, and you do have to get past that. If that's going to be a point of contention, you're not going to enjoy it. I, on the other hand, do. I've always accepted Green Arrow for who he is, what he is, and so long as there's good writing behind him, I'm in. Injustice 2, Chapter 48. This is consistently in the top 10 digital sales, and for good reason. It's an exciting story. It's a lot of fun. There's no pretension to it. I don't know how closely it follows the games, and I don't care. I'm looking forward to playing that one day. I haven't upgraded, but this is just a lot of fun. I can't recommend it more, in all honesty. Even if you don't want to go back to Chapter 1, it's definitely worth picking up the trades or even the floppy copies. It really is. Injustice 2 is definitely one to buy. Superman 42, Bizarro Family. This is an interesting story. Actually, I thought this book would be kind of really difficult to get through, because it does the whole Bizarro me am not tired, and they mean tired, speaking backwards and all that kind of stuff. And for the first page or so, a couple of pages, it was cute, and I was thinking, oh, that's kind of cute. And then it just got annoying. But thankfully, they went to the regular world, so we don't have to spend the entire story on Bizarro World. And it tells a good story. What can I say? This is a good book. Superman has consistently been a good book, and this is no exception. Harley Quinn, number 39. I gotta say, I'm starting to like Harley Quinn. I've liked the last few storylines, and I'm enjoying this one, Angry Bird. If for any other reason that we get to see Batman's D-list villains working the Coney Island angle that the Penguin's trying to throw at him, we get the Signal and Condiment King. Condiment King opened a restaurant. I dig that kind of thing. I like that they're going for deep cuts. It's a fun book, and it has been for a while, which is good because this book started off rocky. This would be one I would dread, and now it's one I am happy I get to read. Spider-Man number 230. Let me tell you something. I forget this book exists. I really do. It's like in between books, it's out of my head. I just forget. Yet Every time I read it, I enjoy it. This is a decent book. It's a solid book. It's not excellent. I'm not saying it's up there with Thanos. Not even close. Not even Daredevil or Iron Fist. But it is a solid read. And you can't take that away. So the bad guys are trying to steal a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier, and Spider-Man's trying to stop them. That's the basic story right there. It's entertaining. What can you say? Nightwing number 40. This is fun. I've been enjoying this whole storyline with the judge and everything. That's kind of cool. And, of course, the bit where, I've got 5 seconds of air in my lungs. That was a little over the top, but it still was handled well. It's an exciting story. It's fun. Covers are good. Art is good. Nightwing is one of the best kept secrets in comic books now. It's kind of funny because you hear, oh my gosh, he's so cute. But the thing is, it makes a good book, and it seems like not a lot of people are buying. And I really wish that would change. I recommend this one, kids. The Jetsons, issue number 5. So this is one of those where, the meteor's coming to hit Earth. It's going to destroy all life on Earth. And this is one of those where George Jetson finds a bomb. He's going to fly it up, and he's the only one that can do it. And yet his mom's there. So you know what's going to happen. She's going to fly out, and she's going to take care of the explosion. No! Spoiler alert. They actually blow up George Jetson in this. This book is freaking awesome. It's got all the feels and a cliffhanger that makes you want to come back in the next issue. And isn't that what a comic book is supposed to do? Thanos, number 16. Well, let's get this straight. Thanos is one of the best books on the market right now. Hands down. I don't even think that's an opinion. I think that's an empirical fact. But there is a problem with this book. He takes out Galactus way too easy. So when we see the Silver Surfer show up, we're, oh my gosh, it's Silver Surfer. It's too damn cool. No, sorry, guys. Galactus was more powerful. Silver Surfer got his power from Galactus. I don't know. Anyway, that is just a nit to be picked. Otherwise, great book. You will not lose. Batman White Knight. You know what? Everybody and their brothers talk to you about this. If you haven't been picking up Batman White Knight, there is something wrong, especially if you're one of those who just buy a book to roast and you know it's going to be bad. It's just corrupt of you to do that kind of thing and ignore great books like this, man. Check it out. Batman White Knight number 6 has... basically, this is where the shoe drops. This is where the Joker's plan comes to fruition. Batman's taken out. At the same time, all the criminals attack Gotham. This is where it builds. This is getting good. While the 5-star books are excellent, unfortunately this week there were no 5-star books. There you go, gang. That's all the reviews. So let's tally up the scores and see who wins. Marvel Comics had 2 1 stars, 5 2 stars, 7 3 stars, 5 4 stars, 0 5 stars, but then again, neither one of them did. There were 19 comics, a score of 53, and an average of 2.79. While DC had 0 1 stars, 4 2 stars, 6 3 stars, 9 4 stars, 0 5 stars, Comics 19, scores 62, and an average of 3.26, which means DC Comics wins again, which actually has been on and off the last few times. Not that we've been doing a lot of them since Chef Jack left. I have to do all the books now. But anyway, that's just me bitching and complaining. What do you think, gang? That's the big question. Was it a good week for you as far as comics are concerned? What was the winner? What was the losers? What did I rank high that I should have ranked low? And what did I rank low that I should have ranked high? By all means, share your opinion with me in the comment section below. And guess what? I actually want to hear it. So long as it's constructive. None of this, you suck thing. Because, yeah, that's how people sound when they don't add some sort of explanation to something behind it. Just a personal thing. But actually, I think it's not so personal. I think every YouTuber does that. Anywho, also, if you like this video, you want to see more, you know the drill. Click like, click share. That gets word out about the channel, and that's always a good thing. Can always use more people knowing about the channel and hoping they like it. And don't forget to hit subscribe. Even if you think you're subscribed, you came across this video, by all means check again, because YouTube has been messing up the small YouTuber. And I know a lot of people haven't been getting notified, so make sure that that bell is rung. Make sure you hit that notification bell, because cool things happen around these parts, and I don't want you to miss a thing. Yeah, just quoted an Aerosmith song. Had to. Rock on Armageddon. Alrighty. Also, this is the way you make a living, so if you don't mind, head on over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till. Links in the description below. We do have tier rewards, same as everybody else, 1, 5, 10, so forth, so on. But also we do a graphic novel giveaway. So that's cool. Once a month, you pick out a name out of a hat. Of course, it's all the Patreons, and the winner gets a graphic novel. This time it's winner's choice. Even made a video for it so you could see what's available, and on other videos I have a picture of all of them that are there, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.